Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Adventures. And today we're doing an episode of Planet Zoo. We'll be looking at the new South America pack that has just come with the DLC and the new update. So we're going to take a quick look at all the animals there. I was thinking about doing all the building pieces as well, but I feel that a lot of YouTubers have gone a lot more into detail about that, like Delay Designer and Rudy and all them. So what I thought, since no one's going too in-depth on the animals, I might be able to give a little insight on that. But as a little extra, I thought we'd set this map in the new South America tropical map that looks like Machu Picchu, the old ruins up in the mountains. And I think this is a really nice map. It's very weird to build on though, but it's nice to give a little bit of variety. And these are these gold paths, look at that. It's like the Road to El Dorado. I actually just watched that movie and I really like that movie, The Road to El Dorado. Such an awesome concept, the City of Gold and all that. Well, anyway, I think we should get stuck into our animals. So first we'll have our first DLC terrarium animal. We'll have the red-eyed tree frog. So you can find it here. We'll have to really go in there. Let's see if we can spot the frogs. There's one there. There's two there. Quite cute. Look at that. Let's see if we can find any others. There should be plenty in here. Kind of been breeding on their own. There's some more live frog. What's really cool about these guys is that they have their undersides blue and they have red eyes, so when they tuck themselves up and close their eyes they completely camouflage into the leaves here, but when they want to scare a predator they'll open their eyes, because in nature bright colors mean stay away from me, so it tells predators to stay away even though they're not poisonous at all. And one other awesome thing about them is that when they lay eggs, they lay them on these bromeliads or leaves on top of these pools. So what happens is, if either a predator disturbs them, or if it's 6 to 10 days after hatching, they just drop into these pools and they'll just swim around and have a good time. Well, not hatching, after they've been laid. So yeah, we'll have a look at the Zoopedia. Zoopedia there. The red-eyed tree frog, Engonitis caladrius, least concern. We don't know how many's in the wild. The red-eyed tree frog is a species of arboreal frog that lives in the tropical rainforest regions of Central America. Female frogs grow larger than males, but both have the same markings. As the name suggests, the red-eyed tree frog has vivid red eyes with black pupils. The upper body and upper legs of the frog are pale green, and as such, when the frog is curled up and closes its eyes, it's well camouflaged against the leaves on which it lives. The red-eyed tree frog has bright blue sides and yellow reticulation and blue thighs. It has orange feet and a pale underbelly, so you can see that here. You can see the orange feet, pale underbelly, yellow reticulation and the blue. The red-eyed tree frog is not endangered, although its population is threatened by deforestation and unsuitable collection for the pet trade. So that affects a lot of herp species, just because people want them and they source them from the wild. So if you ever want to buy a reptile, never get something that's wild caught. So yeah, here we got a good range of the habitats. Looks through around Ecuador and... is it Ecuador? No. Mexico, Costa Rica, Guatemala, along the Central American coast, and these rainforests that are around there. Pretty cool. Very high humidity they like, since it's a rainforest, and I like it pretty warm temperatures, about 31 degrees. And we'll move here. Group size, excluding juveniles, 1 to 8, so you can have up to 8 in the tank, but they're solitary, so they have no dominance really. So they don't have any dominance, but males can be aggressive in the mating season and are very promiscuous. Not very too big frogs, but the females are slightly larger, you can see. On average about 5.7 centimeters long, where the males are 5. They live for about 5 years, and females can get on average 12 grams, where males get about 10. They're sexually mature about a year old, and then they breed till they die. They can have up to 6 offspring, and they take under a month to gestate, but they only breed in between every 12 months, and okay to breed. They're not too hard. So have a look at the interesting facts. It is believed that red-eyed tree frogs, the red eyes in this frog evolved as a starter display. As I said, the frog is well camouflaged when the eyes close, but under threat it can be a shock to a potential predator. Like I said, red-eyed tree frogs have extremely sticky feet due to their surface being made up of an uneven microscopic hexagonal pattern. This allows them to crawl upside down and stick to most surfaces, even carrying the weight of another frog. So kind of similar to geckos, they have that kind of thing going on. Red-eyed tree frogs can detect vibrations from nearby predators and may hatch early to escape them. I mentioned that. Despite their bright coloration, they may be perceived as a warning to predators. Red-eyed tree frogs are not poisonous. Red-eyed tree frog tadpoles can survive for 20 hours out of water, so that's pretty cool. All of that's pretty cool to know. So yeah, nice beautiful little frogs. I think Frontier did a good job with this. Let's see if I can find the frog again. It already moved. Let's look, it's the frog. That's quite cool. I wish it was a better camera. I wish I could get like a zoom camera. Anyway, next animal we've got is the Colombian white-faced capuchin monkey. Now, capuchin monkeys are quite interesting. They're very smart little animals. They've been known to make tools and such. And we'll have a look here. Let's see if you're a male or a female. Female. Having a chill in there. Very cute. And it's cool that there are walkthrough on it too, so you can have guests walking with the monkeys. See what's going on here. He just got rejected. Is this a male? Yes, that's a big male. So you can find a juvenile here. Quite cute. It's got the really little face. It's got a big face. Stubby legs. Yeah, quite cute. So we'll have a look on the Zoopedia. And what's cool is they can climb up these ropes now. It's cool. I hope they make ropes as like an actual enrichment thing, so you can have really big ones, so you can have like orangutans climb on them and such. But yeah, that's besides the point. Get onto Zoopedia here. The Colombian white-faced capuchin monkey, or Cerberus capucinus. Least concern, and we don't know how many is in the wild, so they're not at threat of extinction at all, which is very good. The Colombian white-faced monkey, or Cerberus capucinus, is an arboreal primate that lives in the forests of Colombia, Panama, and Ecuador. There are 11 species of capuchin and even more subspecies. And the Colombian white-faced variant is distinguished by its black body fur and distinctive white fur on its shoulders, upper chest, and around the face. They also have a cap of black fur on the top of their heads and a pale pink face covered by sparse hair, as well as forward-facing brown eyes. While white-faced capuchins are between 33 and 45 centimeters in length, with a 35 to 55 centimeter long tail, weighing between 1.5 and 4 kilograms. Males are larger than females. The species is not endangered, but their numbers are in decline, threatened by deforestation, habitat degradation, and the hunt for bushmeat. The behavior and ecology of capuchins have been studied by various research sites in Colombia, which keeps conservationists aware of the obstacles that these animals face, although the research can often be hindered by political and revolutionary upheaval in the area. So in Colombia there's a lot of fighting going on because there's a bit of a civil war, so it can be very hard for scientists to go in there and study what's there. So we can see the habitat here through Panama, Colombia, and Ecuador, so around the coast here. They like a little bit of climbing, they like a good amount of temperatures, between 12 and 42, and they like a decent amount of space, 210 meters square. So we are. Group size excluding juveniles, 8 to 40, so they like a very big group. They live in troops. They have like most primates, they'll have like a lead male, though the subordinate males will try and sneak a female if they can. So yeah, about between 8 to 40, they don't really care about the dynamics as long as there isn't too many males. And they're very promiscuous. Often a lot of monkeys will trade sex for like food or something. It's quite interesting to look how they do things like that are so human. Relation to humans, they're very confident, so they like to hang around people, and guests can enter the habitat, as you can see here. Size 40 centimeters nose to rump, 36 nose to rump, so the males are slightly bigger. Live for about 50 years. Males on average 3.5 kilo, females about 2.5. They get sexually mature about 7 years old, and they reach their sterility at 30. They have one baby per mating event, and it takes about 6 months to gestate, and they breed every about 2 years or so, and they're pretty easy to breed at least. So have a look at some facts. The white-faced capuchin is known to rub certain types of leaves on its fur. This is thought to be meant to deter pests. So a lot of animals will use, especially monkeys, will use a lot of like plants for herbicide or like to get rid of parasites or to protect them from parasites. Very interesting. Even tapirs do. They'll often eat like certain plants to help protect their guts. Snakes are the main predators of the white-faced capuchin monkeys. Have been known to attack snakes with sticks to save an infant capuchin. So yeah, very protective of their young. The capuchin monkey is named after capuchin monks who wore long hooded robes that covered all but their face, similar to the pattern of the white-faced capuchin monkey's fur. So that's pretty cool. White-faced capuchin monkeys are extremely intelligent and have been trained to assist paraplegics and star in film and television roles. So very, very smart, intelligent, and easy to train. White-faced capuchin monkeys play games with one or pull something in their mouth and then they peer open to pry it out. So that's pretty fun. Let's see what animals they get on with. They can get on with Brad's tapirs, so we're in the base game, and we got the next one coming up, Giant Anteater. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So let's see. Are you going to play the piano? Nope. He had to be excited for a second. So look, they're pretty happy in there. See if they can get one sleeping. Look at that. He's going for a sleep. He's curling up. That is quite cute. And they're very good climbers too, so they like having a bit of stuff to climb with. Very awesome. So now we're going to be moving on to the Giant Anteater. You can see, is this a dad? No, that's mum. Here's mum. So you can see the very interesting animals, these giant anteaters. These very long faces. They can't open their jaws very wide. It's just to stick their tongue out and slurp up termites and ants. You can see they've also got it's a good example of convergent evolution because they walk on their knuckles like gorillas and chimpanzees do. So that's a really cool idea of convergent evolution. They've got this very long tail. I was a little worried about how it would look in the fur shader for Planet Zoo because the Planet Zoo shader doesn't really handle long fur too well, but I think this came out pretty well. And she's going to have a sleep. And she's going to curl up and put her tail around her. Pretty cute. And then we can see her baby. Also quite cute. Though in the wild, or even in captivity, usually these little babies will just be hanging off mum's tail. Which is quite a cute sight to see as she walks around the savannah. Quite cute. He's also oh. So look, he's also sleeping with mum. And then we see our big dad here. He's 100%. See, he's got those big naughty claws. Very dangerous anteaters actually. So just watch him do his thing. We'll see if we can get him. We'll speed up time a wee bit. We'll wait until he gets to joins in on eats. You can see he's gonna go for a drink. You can see his little tongue slip out. Oh. Look, watch. See, they've got this very long tongue that extends back into the deep in their throat that they use to stick and grab insects with. Just want to see them use the new enrichment that they got. Because this comes new with the pack. Though I think it's weird that aardvarks and other animals can't use it. Do they also eat termites? So we'll just wait and see. Oh. Come on, man. Would you do it for me? not really wanting to cooperate today. Oh, having a scratch there. So they're having a feed there. So you can see them. Suck up all those meats. I'm gonna drink, and then they probably head over to the enrichment. There's our big male there. So you can see him digging through. This is what they do in the wild. They'll dig through and look for termites, stick their tongues in holes. Quite nice. Okay, so we'll have a look at the Zoopedia. So we have the Giant Anteater, Mycerophaga tridactyla. Vulnerable, that means they could be in danger of becoming endangered or risk of extinction. It's actually, they need to be protected and monitored. Population in the wild about 5,000. The Giant Anteater, or Mycerophaga tridactyla, is a medium-sized mammal that lives in the grasslands and forests of Central and South America. As the name suggests, the species feed almost exclusively on ants and termites, detecting ant colonies by smell before digging a hole to feed using their long sticky tongue. The giant anteater has a very distinctive appearance with a long tubular snout, small eyes and ears, stocky limbs, a coarse mane and a thick bushy tail. They also have a characteristic pattern across their bodies with white front legs, grey muzzle and a black strip across their chest, throat and shoulders, with bristly black and brown tails and manes. The giant anteater is a vulnerable species. The overall population is decreased by 30% between 2000 and 2010. Their habitat is under threat through deforestation and the expansion of agriculture. They are also badly impacted by wildfires, hunting, car collisions and dog attacks. Anteaters are protected where their home range falls within natural reserves, and there are also captive breeding programs in zoos, while anteaters being reintroduced to areas where they've gone locally extinct to prevent population fragmentation. So that's good. A lot of work is going to protect these wonderful animals. So have a look at where they live. So they have a pretty wide range across South America. It just gets too cold for them around Argentina, around here, so they live pretty much from Costa Rica all the way down to Peru. So it's a very huge range that they have. So they're pretty solitary. The only times you have more than one is one and a baby, but here obviously you've got to have a male and a female. So they don't have a dominant system or a mating system. And this is very wrong, I think, because if you look in relation to humans, they're neutral. They're actually very aggressive towards people. And if you put a person in the habitat, there's a very good risk that someone could die. Because there was even a case in 2012 of a hunter getting killed by a giant anteater because it chopped up his femoral artery and he bled to death. And also in 2007 there was a zookeeper that was killed by anteater. So I don't think any zoo would let people go into an enclosure with an anteater because they could really kill someone, so you really want to be careful with that. And they're pretty big animals too by the looks of it. Let's see, we've got 2.11 meters, 60 centimeters tall at the shoulder, so on average they're pretty similar in size. Life expectancy, they live up to average 16 years, and they can weigh up to 36 kilo, but the largest ones can get up to 50. So the age of sexual maturity is about 4 years old, and they keep breeding till they die. They have one baby per event, and it takes 9 months to gestate, similar to a person. And they breed every 12 months or so every year they might have a new one. And they're pretty easy to breed in captivity at least. So the giant anteater may visit 200 ants nests and eat up to 3,000 insects in a day. So that's a lot of insects, but considering their size, they've got to go around and eat as much as they can. But though each insect is very high in protein and very nutrients, so eating insects is actually, if you can specialize in it, it's very nutrient, very good way to get nutrients. Giant anteaters have no teeth and very limited jaw movement. They can only open their mouths enough to stick their tongue out to collect ants, like I said. The giant anteater's tongue is 45 centimeters longer than the length of the skull. So pretty much it goes all the way down here, so they have a very long tongue. Giant anteaters have no stomach acid, instead using the formic acid made by ants to eat. They eat to digest their food, so they pretty much digest the food with their food. So that's pretty interesting. Giant anteaters will dig large holes to access water, which are used as water holes for many other animals. So they're pretty much a keystone species, which means without the anteaters, a lot of animals would go thirsty. So they're very important in the ecosystems of South America. And we can see they like hanging out with capuchins and Brad's tapirs. But yep, I wouldn't really, with this, I wouldn't put a person in there because it can kill someone. So I think that should be changed. And I think the can go on enclosure status should be given to our next animals, these llamas, because these are domestic animals. Have a look, is this a male? Yeah, this is a male. He's quite a nice looking male there. We can see very fluffy. I like their, they've got their ears up and their tails up. That shows they just got so much attitude. It's pretty awesome. And then we see here, let me just check something quickly. Okay, then that's all good. That should be working. So here we've got a male here. We'll see if we can find a female here. Hawaka. Just a little bit smaller, not too much difference. And we'll see if we can find Cusco. There's one little baby one called Cusco I want to find. Hey, it must be him. There we are, Cusco! Seen Emperor's New Groove? Dude, you threw off my groove! he's quite a snobby little one. I like him. I like Cusco. And he's doing a poo too. Very nice. So let's have a look in the Zoopedia. So we got the llama. Okay, so they're domesticated, which means there's about 7 million of them. For comparison, there's about not even close to 5 million people in New Zealand, so there's more llamas in the world than New Zealanders. Just a cool little fact. The llama, or Llama glada, is a species of camelid native to the mountains and steppes of western South America, naturally found in Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. Llamas have been since introduced all over the world as livestock because of the high quality wool they produce. They are domesticated animals and live alongside humans as livestock as pack animals for 4,000 years. They have long necks, long legs, and a stocky build covered in thick shaggy wool, and they can be white, tan, piebald, black, or grey in colour. Both sexes are between 1.6 and 1.8 meters tall, and 92 and 160 centimeters long, weighing between 130 and 200 kilograms. Llamas are domesticated and thus are abundant and well-regulated species, which do not have conservation needs. They are generally good-natured animals and easy to train because of their extensive interaction with people. It's good. So they can be found around naturally Ecuador, Peru, Chile, and Argentina, so like colder areas. Still cool though. They can be found all over the world. Lots of people have llamas because they make good wool. Species, so they're very social. They can live up to groups of between 2 and 30, so they're very flexible. And they pretty much, they don't have a leader per se, but they'll just kind of like constantly in flux just because they have small spitting fats with each other. They're pretty much bang whoever they want. They're very confident with humans, and it was weird, guests can't enter the habitat, though I think they should. So they get on average 1.7 meters tall, about 20 years they live for, and on average get about 165 kilos. So the age of sexual maturity is about 35 years, not 35, of 3 years, and age of sexual sterility is about 20 years, so they live for about, pretty much they breed till they die. Number of offspring per mating event, usually about 1, and it takes about 12 months to gestate, and they breed every 2 years or so. And they're pretty easy to breed. So, unlike other grazing animals, llamas can barely stick their tongues out of their mouths because of how it's attached, which is interesting. Llamas can carry up to 30% of their body weight for long distances, making them excellent pack animals. During birth, all the female llamas in the herd gather around the expectant mother to protect her from a newborn from predators and males. One ways of the llamas communicate is by humming. Vanita and the guanaco are cousins of the llama that have been domesticated. To be honest, I would like to have seen them because they actually have pressing conservation need, but it's nice to see llamas. See, they don't even get on with anyone else, which is a bit sad. But yeah, we'll see if we can find Cusco. Is this Cusco? No. There we are, there's Cusco. Hopefully no one threw off his groove. It's quite cute. So yeah. Now we'll look into the last but not least, the Jaguar. So here is this mum or dad? Here's mum. You can see a very nice looking Jaguar. You see the beautiful rosettes and the real stocky build they have. Did a very good job. And you can see a big male here. He's 92% male, so I thought it'd be good. Look, 92%. Very big boy. See the beautiful rosettes and patterns and such. You can see the cubs here running around, loving life. Hee hee. Run, 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 run. Okay, so we'll check into the Zoopedia. Jaguar Panthera onca. The Jaguar or Panthera onca is a species of big cat that lives throughout South America, Central America, and Mexico, with rare individual sightings in the southern US. Although they can live in multiple environment types, they prefer to be in dense forests near swamps and rivers. They are stockily built compared to other big cat species, weighing on average between 56 and 96 kilograms, measuring 112 to 180 centimeters long. They have yellow to orange fur with black rosette patterning and a white underside. Although the species is not endangered, their numbers have been decreasing and are near threatened. This is due to habitat loss caused by deforestation, as well as conflicts with ranchers caused by jaguars' killing of livestock. Some demand for their pelts and their body parts also remain, the latter of which is for use for traditional medicines, similar to tigers. However, this has decreased significantly through recent decades, which is very good. I would find that would happen with tigers. To help conserve natural jaguar populations, many areas where they live has been declared protected. So that's good. So you can see natural habitat. They used to occur pretty much in the lower half of the United States as well. You can find them in California, Arizona, Florida and all that. But here they have pretty much been restricted now to South America. So they solitary, of course. They live male and female. You obviously just want one. They don't really have a dominance hierarchy. Very promiscuous. They're pretty shy, and obviously since it's a big cat you can't enter their habitats. They get on average, males get on average a bit bigger, about 72 centimeters tall at the shoulder, while females 68. They can live up to about 23 years, and they on average about 26 kilos. Let's see if she's going to go and hang out with their... No, she's not. So the age of sexual maturity is about 3 years, and they breed till they die. They get up to 4 cubs, and they take about 3 months to gestate, and every 2 years they breed, and it's pretty average breeding for them. He's playing playing with the I'm also surprised that the jaguar doesn't have a water need, because they are very good swimmers and often catch water and prey. They even, what they do is they'll catch caiman and bite the backs of their nets, because they have the strongest bite force of any felid, pretty much. So I think having a water need for them would be pretty cool. Female jaguars with cubs will be extremely aggressive toward male jaguars to protect their young. A lot of big cats are like that. The animals known as black panthers are actually jaguars with a rare color morph. Now this is partly true. It applies to pretty much all big cats. They usually have a thing called melanism, which is where the melanin takes over and they pretty much just become pure black. And it happens to pretty much every animal that has melanin. And as I mentioned before, jaguars have a very strong bite that enables them to crush turtle shells relative to their body size, the strongest bite force, along with cow leopards. And jaguars will often drag the kills into trees to eat undisturbed. They often sleep in the trees, and they obviously can't share anything with anyone. Though, I wonder if you're going to go and have a scratch there. I want to have a look there, watch. It's a new animation. It would be cool if they added this snow leopards, because snow leopards like bounding about, but... You're going to go do it? Come on, buddy. There we are. I'm going to scratch. Quite a nice... Is this the male? I'm pretty sure this is the male. That's the female, actually. Keep underestimating their sizes. Quite big. The third largest big cat after lions and tigers, believe it or not. I'll have another look at the cub bounding about, trying to join mum. Look at him. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so I think that's it for today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a little bit. And I really hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.